Hi, I'm Carolina,
And I'm Amanda.
and we're here with Babble. This is our 22nd episode,
Something like that. We're getting pro.
We are. Today we have one of our good friends. Her name is Coree Jo Costa, and she is a private chef and an educator, a food educator.
Yeah.
Right? She used to chef for me a long time ago. I wish I could still have Corey, but she's a little busy now. So we're asking her all the questions about food, well-being. What else?
Yeah, I mean, we love Corey because she doesn't, ascribe to these certain diets or say there's one perfect way of eating healthy. So we just love to pick her brain about getting little tips that are simple, relatable, and doable about how to eat the healthiest way possible. Not perfect, but good.
Exactly. So we hope you enjoy it.
Yay, Corey, finally. I can't believe we haven't had you on the podcast yet.
I know.
Well, we're here today.
Here we are, January 2026. Everybody's ready to be healthy. Let's just start by you giving us a little bit of background about what it is you do.
So, I've been, I guess, in the food industry now for almost a decade, which is crazy. Does that include working at restaurants, understanding food service? Yes. Love all of that, because then when I got into people's homes, it made it a little bit more like of a natural, service, and getting people to sit down for a meal is kind of how this all started. And it's gone from consulting to private chefing and lots of workshops kind of before pandemic started. I'd like to get back into that again. So it's ever evolving. It's food as medicine is always the topic, and then just different avenues, which is fun.
Of delivering the medicine.
Exactly.
Like it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love how you used to make food for me,
Yeah.
which was amazing because I learned so much from just eating your food. And I like how you kind of always approach each person at their individual level, right? So you're not like trying to make everyone fit to a certain type of diet.
Right.
But you really make healthy food taste delicious. And I think just from eating your food, you learn so much. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how you kind of tailor, the way people should eat based on their own needs and their own constitutions.
Right. And constitution is an interesting word. I think using that almost as a focal point for everything we talk about today. A constitution is basically where your body started. Your parents kind of give you genetic predispositions basically, and what you're born into, whether that's like a financial situation or what have you, what you have access to through food. And so when you say meeting people where they're at with food, that can be many layers, but also knowing that your constitution is bio-individual. Each person has different needs for their body, maybe different disease is a word we'll get into, I'm sure, in this, but dis-ease. So whether we're having symptoms or our body just feels weird based on what we're eating, it's kind of getting in tune with ourselves and saying, I don't feel right, which is how basically you and I started. I wasn't cooking. I was aware of food as medicine, and you and I had started approaching these different layers of okay, well, if I don't feel good eating this, and maybe I should avoid that. And it just naturally formed into, well, if you know what I should be cooking, why don't you just cook for me? Which was this really crazy, what was that, 8-9 years ago, maybe longer?
That long ago?
And I was like, I don't cook, girl. And so now to have come to this space where that's what I do as my profession, I think it's also very telling that if you want to understand food and use it, it's possible. I have no culinary training. I guess too, kind of a fear that we have of food. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to cook. So meeting people where they're at. Not everyone has to cook. Mm-hmm. Not everyone has to eat the way I eat. I found how I eat and what makes me feel good through a lot of trial and error, and seasons and all of those things, changing, age, how much am I working out? So we'll get into all of those layers, but basically meeting people where they're at with food is what I found the only way to help them get involved at a level that they want to help themselves, because it's not about you hiring me to feed you. Like you said, it's about you learning things through food so that you can take care of yourself. So ultimately, I didn't get into this to be a chef. I got into it to help people understand the science of basically food as information for our body. So meeting people where they're at is also forcing people to understand where they're at.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I always like how you don't just talk about what people eat, but all the things we're doing in our day to, sort of make or break the day. Like, we all have great days when we did it all right, and, days where we indulge or don't exercise or whatever it may be. But just like talking about understanding your own rhythms and noticing not just what you eat, but like your sleep, when and how you get light, your energy levels, digestion, like all these things. How do you talk with people when it comes to like approaching eating and integrating those things into it?
So I think there are so many rigid rules about food, diet, the word itself. If we are aiming just more so for consistency than like it's working or it's not, we're humans. Every single day is different. And so having just like a little bit looser of an approach to consistency, and that we're kind of trying to find an average. So today might be this, tomorrow is going to be this. We have different challenges with each day too that you can't even plan for. So really understanding how to work with your own weaknesses. What am I good at? What am I not? Do I need a meal plan? Do I need to make something the day before? Is something like cooking on a Sunday going to help me? It's kind of like understanding basically just our weaknesses, I guess. And so finding this flow state of a little bit more planning. Which days do I work out of the week? Am I making family dinners? Those types of things. I also think like understanding hunger versus appetite. Like that can kind of help us go into the rhythm of what am I just eating because I didn't plan accordingly? Am I eating ravenously because I should have eaten right after I worked out to replenish? Or maybe understanding also what is a quick snack? I know we'll get into carbs and some different things of like, I don't know, things that are misunderstood. And so I don't think we're trying to eliminate anything, I guess, basically. It's just aiming for consistency, I think. And go ahead.
So is that something you're doing now? Like, are you doing consulting with people so that they can figure out like the answers to all these questions?
Yes.
Or how else do they, because some people are just so lost, right? Like that's how I felt. Like, okay, I can try to listen to my body, but like, what is it saying?
Right.
Because
and
a lot of
overwhelmed.
times it like wants candy and bad shit. And so I needed that guide, I guess, to like really teach me. So, I mean, is that something you're doing, or like where can they find this information?
Yes, I feel like I started getting into, I've been very lucky to become a private chef at this level that's keeping me busy. I'm also finding that just cooking isn't my passion. My passion is definitely sitting down and doing these sorts of things where I'm like, oh yeah, sharing this information. It seems so natural to me at this point that I forget that these very simple rules are so beneficial to so many other people. And so the consulting is definitely something that I think one meeting sometimes is even enough to just get a playing field, like a game plan of like, okay, let me focus on these things for a while and see if there's something that I even actually want to tackle, because we can be so overwhelmed with like all of the things we need to do. What do I actually want to do, instead of just saying, I wish I did that? What do you actually want to do? So it's, the consulting, I think, can be very beneficial for people to just get real with themselves. It's not necessarily what I'm going to provide you. It's just maybe having the conversation that gets you super clear about where where you're failing yourself.
Yeah. And you can do those because you do a lot of those over Zoom, right? It's not like you have to be their chef.
Correct.
To be
Yes.
consulting with them.
And was even getting into consulting for what am I thinking of? The one that I did for Melody, who was from Büddhi.
Oh yeah, like corporate
Style, where it's a little bit more, again, basic nutrition, like eat the rainbow, a lot of tidbits that people can either run with. Not everyone's ready for the information.
Right.
I think that when you start unveiling this onion of information, it can be super overwhelming. And so multiple meetings are probably good, but start somewhere. Start getting clear with somebody who doesn't have a plan for you, that thinks it's just not what I eat isn't perfect for you. So a lot of us have access to everything, right? We're finding information that we think oh, if I do it like that, it'll be great. This will be the answer. And I don't have your answers. I might help you find your own answer.
Right.
But the consulting is definitely something that I think can be helpful. I got into cooking because I was appreciative of seeing families sit down for meals. And I think that has its own profound impact on a family. It allows parents to have their kids eat things that maybe kids don't even eat sometimes what you make. And all of a sudden you have this random person that's oh, look, roasted carrots are fun. I mean, it's, we can get into that in a later thing, but the cooking, I don't know. People want recipes too, which is crazy. I feel like recipes are all over the internet.
Yeah, they sure are.
But people want them. It's the wildest thing.
Well, just ideas, because you run out of things to make.
Right.
And it gets boring if you're just constantly rotating the same things.
Yes.
So I think having the recipes come especially from someone that you trust.
Right.
That you're
It's vetted a
if
little.
she thinks it's good, it's got to be good.
And also maybe we have recipes in our
Like
algorithm,
arsenal.
but maybe not everybody does. I mean, mine is full of almonds.
Totally.
But it might not be coming to everybody.
Right. So consulting, yes. I can do that.
But again, you're not prescribing here's the diet, here's the rules. You're really encouraging people to sort of look inward.
Right.
And, maybe you want the candy, but what else can you add? It's, it's not no more Mexican candy for Carolina. We'll never say that.
But understanding, cravings and sometimes those are attached to emotional cravings and things like that. So it's always how deep do you want to get with this? Because ultimately I feel like we kind of know what we're not supposed to eat, but it's all attached to so many other deeper science of your body, which I think is the ultimate goal for me is when people, especially kids, I was doing the kids workshops, and once they have the science of what food could do, or when I eat blue things, it does this. Right. And when I drink water, it does this. It's wild how much more effective we can be if we just have the science. It's your own little project can be yourself.
Yes.
And so I think there's been a lot of clients that have come to me and I'm I don't think we can work together. You're not actually ready to put in the work, and this is work. It's hard to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so again, a lot of what I think is coming natural and easy to me now is because at 44, I've been doing this for now at least 20 years, with a hyper-focused want and desire. And so it is getting easier, but it's a challenge. There's a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
You don't want people just to diet hop.
Right.
I know so many people that try this, then try this, then try this, and now I'll try Coree. And it's no, I'm not a trend or a...
Right.
And
if I'm filling your fridge and you're not eating it, it's not an energetic transfer anyway. You're not even eating the food. So it's been a lot of, I think that's why I got into food, honestly, is because I knew that what I was creating was being consumed with the energy I wanted it to. And when I got into, with a lot of consulting, I'm just hoping they're getting it. And so it was almost a more direct validation.
more tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So always meandering, again, evolving with this.
And so you talk about rituals a lot, right? Having rituals. And for some people, they might not be ready to make such huge changes to their diet and how they eat. But what are some basic things that people can do in the morning that's not too hard, but that has a huge benefit?
Yes. I think first thing, waking up, like here's a little tidbit of science. Our stomach is basically like this little volcano, and it needs to do that to be able to break down food. And the acidity that's going on in there is kind of like, as you're sleeping, you wake up, and what breakfast is giving it kind of what it needs to neutralize to like get you through the rest of the day. So I think when we wake up, warm water with lemon.
Been doing that. Feels so good.
It's really,
and a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, I think everything that we touch on today, it's interesting to think about that you can take care of someone else and be like, oh, I'm doing this and they feel better. When you do it for yourself, the confidence that comes, you guys know from yoga practice, like these things that you do consistently and ritualistically, build like a superpower within you. And warm lemon water every morning for a week, I'm like, bitch, I can do anything. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like these things, you took care of yourself on this level that it's very minor, it's very major. Warm lemon water. So lemon water you would think of as acidic, but it's actually helping to neutralize any extra acidity that's going on. So you're kind of like setting your guts up for whatever you're going to do next. The next thing I would highly recommend is greens. They say go like greens, fiber, protein, fat, carbs.
Is that a day?
That's like every meal.
Oh, got it.
So if you can kind of think of that for each meal and throughout the day, that's kind of like your glucose way of not spiking. It's like, how can I find a balance?
When can I have my coffee? Because I usually have it after the warm water.
So I typically do too. And I mean, this is again, finding your own rhythm, right? Like I'm not hungry in the morning. I eat well in the evening. I wake up like I'm not hungry for anything. And what I typically do is have my lemon water. I might have a coffee, and then I usually have 2 soft-boiled eggs with spinach. That's kind of like my go-to day.
Like you saute the spinach?
Yep.
Blend it all together.
I just soft boil the eggs. So I put like a little bit of butter in with my spinach, let it warm like even barely, forkfuls. Like nothing fancy.
You don't put anything on it?
Maybe salt.
Yeah.
Sometimes even not, because I might sprinkle salt on my eggs. Again,
cheap.
It's super cheap. And starting with the greens and fiber and the fat and protein, what you're doing when you think of like glucose and balancing is you're letting that fat and fiber create kind of like a barrier around then eating carbs and maybe a sweet, whatever comes after that. And so it slowly releases. So starting with your protein and your greens, also greens, I feel like a lot of people don't eat all their greens in a day. Like if you can aim to start with greens for every meal, you're at least going to get 3 servings in. Yeah. You should have even more than that. And also, you know, people are like, oh, I drink my greens powder. So do I. But the actual chewing fiber is what's benefiting you. So I think it's like 25, 30 grams of fiber a day. My greens powder has maybe 2, right? So maybe sometimes I start with a greens powder thinking that's that. And maybe I'm getting it, but I'm still not chewing it. It's not doing the process of like breaking things down.
What about protein? So 35 grams of fiber a day.
Ish.
And protein?
I feel like protein is something that is like all over in the news. Everyone's like,
it's like a gram for your body weight.
Right. Right. Which is
impossible.
It's a lot. And I think that's when you get into these like crazy wellness, like, oh, get your protein powder and make sure you're getting it all. It's like, again, protein powder can be beneficial, but actually like
you need it
chewing food that your body knows how to process, that doesn't have all the other question marks around it. Did I absorb it? Like, I don't know. So do I put protein powder sometimes in a smoothie? Totally. Do I think it's how you should rely on getting like 120 something grams of protein a day? No.
Well, and there's protein in plants, I think we forget.
Totally.
I mean, that spinach has protein. Obviously the eggs do, but
beans, right? Like there's so many things. And again, taking this knowledge of food and looking at like daily recommended values for a person your age, we're ingesting like a lot that we are probably not even aware of, and then maybe you can see where you're missing. Like, wow, I really should be eating more protein, but I don't crave chicken. Oh, I can be eating more beans or more quinoa, or it's like helping you fill this gap.
No one ever.
I mean, I do eat some of
As
these
we
grains.
get older, the protein is a problem.
of
Like,
course.
you need to be
A lot
getting
of
that
that
protein.
stuff,
The protein and the fiber.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like vitamin D. Like it is. I'm circling back to what we were even talking about. Rhythms. We were talking
The
about.
morning stuff
just
you
the
can
morning
do.
ritual. Morning
So
ritual.
I think that that's good. I think that there's no. You should do it this way.
Right.
Find what you like to eat in the morning. But if you can start with greens and protein, I think you're winning.
I mean, I like that suggestion a lot. It's inexpensive. It takes
Easy.
5 to 7 minutes.
Fast.
And like you do.
7 minutes is the perfect egg. P.S.
Right.
Bring it to boiling, put it in there, take it out, let it cool. That's a perfect soft-boiled egg. It literally takes takes less time than it does to make my coffee.
And spinach sautés in like 3 minutes.
And
Yeah. And so if you, I mean, you say greens with every meal, I think that's super overwhelming to a lot of people. I agree, but I'm just saying like that's such a good daily food ritual for people.
Right.
To start with.
And starting with your greens, you're filling up on the thing that's actually the most nutrient dense.
Right.
Then moving into protein. And then by the time you get to your carb, you're kind of like starting to feel full. And maybe you don't need the whole baked potato. Maybe you eat half of it because you're already filling up on these fibrous things that your body was like, wow, that's what I was depleted of, not the fuel, especially for dinner. Like, I'm not going to go use all the fuel that I'm doing if I'm eating like a carb heavy dinner.
Right.
So it's, again, a lot of the science to it.
And if you kick off with something healthy, it sets you up for your day.
Completely.
You're like, I'm already doing so good.
And, you know, I am a fool to the triggers as well. You know what would happen if I just woke up and drank coffee? I would want something sweet. I'd want to walk down to Wayfair, and that's like my natural craving with coffee. But if I've already done these other things in line, even just the lemon water, gives me the time to like, okay, I'm going to do a little stretching
Make
while I
better
drink my lemon
choices.
water. You know, it really is. It all kind of falls into place, and they're placebo until they're not, and then they're habitual, and then you're winning.
Right.
And if you're gonna get a sweet treat, because I'm not saying don't eat them after the meal, because then your body knows what to do with that sugar, and it's a slow release instead of right when you wake up eating that. It's a crazy like burn spike, and then it's gone, and then you kind of actually feel like shit because you committed to something that you like feel guilty about. And what's that?
Right.
Like, why do that to yourself? Don't feel guilty. Eat it after and be like, okay,
had my spinach.
you know, exactly. It's a balance.
Right. Always. How does because I don't eat in the morning, I exercise in the morning. Like I have coffee, I work out, I don't eat until like 11:30, probably 12, because I don't want to exercise with anything in my stomach besides coffee. I'm fine with. How does movement and your exercise affect on when and what you eat?
So, again, this is a personal journey of like, if you're dragging when you get done with your workout, maybe you're one of those people that needs to eat like a date and peanut butter right before you go work out. Maybe you do need a smoothie prior. I'm the same way. I can wake up and I kind of have energy. Like, I don't really even need coffee in the morning. I like it, but I think that understanding the recovery is important. Like, after you work out, your body does need to be replenished. So if that's a smoothie, something that's got like your protein and your carbs in it, you do have to understand that you've just asked something of your body, and you do need to replenish it. They say within like 30 to 60 minutes of your workout is when you're supposed to replenish. So getting familiar with your own body and what that looks like. Lunch, I always try and think of like, okay, what's my day look like? When does Nathan get home? When am I done with clients? I like eating, I mean, if we say this when the sun sets, right now we're like, that's 5 o'clock, which seems a little wild. But if you can get your dinner in 2 to 4 hours before you go to sleep.
Yeah, I
that
always
gives
hear
your
that.
body enough time to actually digest it. They say it takes about that long for food to get out of your stomach. So if you can think of this kind of like machine that's still running, you want to give it time to do what it needs to do before you lay down and go to sleep. So I always kind of try and like time out. If I'm going to eat dinner at this time, I should probably eat lunch at this time. There's a lot of people who say only eat 3 meals. I'm much more of kind of a snacker. I do like to eat a big lunch.
Me too.
Because I don't know what dinner will always be. So I think a lot of us, I say us, in our community of like, we work out a lot. We're always moving. I think that we tend to not eat enough. And that can mess with our metabolism
Hormones.
and our hormones. And then we have these other symptoms and we're trying to stay thin or we're trying to do these things and we're not actually eating enough. And when we're balanced, we can probably eat, like I eat a lot of food. It balances itself out.
You do eat a lot.
I eat a lot of food. Like, I don't,
Like you're always complaining when we go out to dinner that you're
there's not
hungry.
enough food. It's real. And I mean, I don't diet. I don't like count calories.
Right.
I've always eaten what I'd like. And again, this is also like genetics. Like my mom still looks great. She's in her 60s. She's also always eaten, which I think is like a great point for moms. My mom never dieted. My mom always just ate well. She never really talked to me about it. But when I started to get into my 30s, my late 20s, and like started cooking for myself, because it was outside of college, I still wasn't really paying attention to food. I remember she always had salads. I remember
Right.
she grew stuff in her garden. I remember a few nights a week we'd have like X, Y, and Z, our staple meals, you know, these kinds of things. And I think for moms, like there's so much guilt involved in how they're feeding their kids. And if you can take away from this discussion that like what I remember was that my mom ate well, it wasn't necessarily what she made me eat. It was that she ate well. And that's what I remembered was she had a healthy
example.
relationship.
Yeah.
She had a healthy relationship with food and like super fortunate. I know that's not like for everyone. And it helped my journey of being curious about like knowing how to use it. But your calm approach to food and understanding yourself and what you need and that it's not a diet and that you are providing for yourself is literally a ripple effect for every person around you.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge point for me is like, I don't try and think about what I should or shouldn't eat in the day. I'm like, am I hungry? And if I'm hungry, that needs to stem from eating something actually healthy before I eat something that's convenient or processed or any of these things. Like try and eat some whole foods before you go into any other craving you think that you need,
That's a good tip.
you know?
Very. And it's
I like that.
simple.
Like have a piece of fruit. And again, these rules or these guidelines that I'm saying, you know, where you're like, but you said I couldn't eat fruit unless I ate greens before. Like eating an apple is still far more effective than
Right.
like the protein bar or the, I don't know, just real food that your body, it's so funny because I feel like Whole Foods is like, what's Whole Foods? Like it's a grocery store. Whole Foods. Like just
Actual food
like,
that grows in a tree or on the ground.
Food,
It came from
a
the
thing
earth.
that doesn't have an ingredients list.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the food. Always go for those first. And I think we'll lead into like supplements and the discussion of that. But I think if you can get really good about whole foods and ingesting a variety of them,
Talk a little bit about the eating the rainbow. So
Yes.
like, what is that all about and what does it mean and why should we do it?
so eating the rainbow is something that I like literally finally put out for kids in this workshop that was like, okay, what are these categories?
I feel like you could do that with adults too.
Yeah.
It's huge. Well, and like the science gets deeper, you know, you can do a color chart, right? Okay, so reds are like lycopene. Think of like tomatoes, strawberries. Each of these things kind of have this like weird general way of aiding your heart. Orange is beta carotene. That's vision. Green is typically like folate rich foods. So greens, you know, like these kinds of foods that folates are like bones and tissue. Blues and purples are, what's that? I've got it. Anthocyanine, which are like blueberries,
Also
all of
good
these
for your
antioxidant.
heart, right? Yeah.
It's like anti-aging, period. And then the white ones are, white and brown is like, the main ingredient, the main thing that's beneficial about garlic is allicin. And so a lot of them have these like very immune boosting onions, like all of your kind of,
Ginger.
yeah, the things that you're kind of putting at the base of like recipes. So when you start thinking about it as a color wheel and like, did I get any of that segment today? Did I eat anything that would help my heart today? Did I eat? It just kind of like gives you this very generic, rational way to look at the variety of food. Each one has a mineral and micronutrient, vitamin base. And so like, they're all there for a reason, basically, whole foods. To supply you with something might be different because it's seasonal, which is something that I love talking to people about. Like, go to the farmer's market. What they're selling is what you should be finding in the grocery store.
Right.
Because we have access to all of it. But if we want super nutrient-dense foods, we should be eating them at the peak of their season. And that's when you, like, eat this thing that's growing here naturally. You're like, oh, my God, how does this taste so good?
Like
it's because
peach.
that's what it's supposed. It's in season, and it's not been modified in some way. So I think that eating the rainbow is a really easy and approachable way to think about, what did I eat today? And like, you don't want everything to be in the red zone. You don't want to only be eating these things. So it's maybe I'll do an adult version. I had like a bookmark that I was giving kids in workshops that had, it was like the color red and then a heart was in it. So you understood like which part of the body was a little bit more affected.
Yeah.
And again, that's rigid and you don't,
No, but I don't think it's rigid. I think it's like an easy map.
Right.
Everyone knows the rainbow.
Right.
And if I could just, and maybe you don't hit the whole rainbow every day.
No, but you have a goal.
Yeah.
And as you're like gaining, like I said earlier, this consistency is what gives you your average. So like you don't eat it, you don't meet it every day, but at least you know you're like aiming for it. And I think understanding the rainbow is a little bit easier than understanding like micronutrients, macronutrients, vitamins,
That's
minerals.
just overwhelming.
Well, and like as we were speaking about glucose, that's only one of like the 4 metabolic pathways you have. So if you want to get into like geeking out and understanding why your body needs each of those things to literally communicate with the other things, like glucose is something which is, we'll get into hormones, but like the hypothalamus is what is releasing these things, right? You can affect your hypothalamus through yoga. Right. Like the ability for our body to respond how it needs to release to different parts is where we get into like hormone release and stress management and all of these other things that we're kind of responsible for that food can't fix at all. You have to also be responsible for sleep, movement, hydration. So it's like, oh, I'm eating well, it's not working. Well, do you hate your job? Do you hate what you're doing every day? Are you hydrated? Do you sleep?
Yeah.
Like all of these things affect this insane science project that is our body. And I think like it's almost like this revolution that we can have against all the things that are distracting us from like living well and long is just to be in tune with your body and like fight the fight. Like if you want to live well and long, you got to do the work.
Exactly.
And you can't expect that food's just going to do it or the supplements are just going to do it or I work out. Like it's all of these systems together that are going to create the possibility. You still don't even know disease can pop up in any way.
Yeah,
so you might as well try to have a good base level, basically, I think is what food is intended to be, is information for your body to do what it needs to do. With all these systems that we're like barely even aware are happening.
Yeah, and you don't need to necessarily understand them if you just get sleep, drink water, exercise, and eat the rainbow.
Right. But understanding them also gives you a little bit more like, fuck, I should follow through on that.
Right.
Just eat the spinach. Just wake up and drink the lemon water. Like, It's almost like I don't know, how many glossy, fancy magazines and pictures do you need to see before you are like, oh, it's actually this basic. Like, this isn't complicated information, and we keep looking for this way it's going to all come together, or this supplement I'm going to take is going to do it. And like, I take supplements. I do all of the things that we're all doing that we like. I don't know. None of it's magic. It's literally just consistency. It's the daily routine and ritual of trying.
And I do think, like, sometimes people are like, oh, it's so expensive to be healthy, but I feel like people do buy so much processed foods.
Yeah.
And I think they're expensive. Like, if you just filled your cart with produce.
Well,
I know that's not what people are going to do, but these suggestions that you're making are not expensive.
There's a whole, obviously, other conversation about, like, accessibility and good food and produce. And, like, a lot of times, convenient processed foods are cheaper and are more...
They, though?
Well, cheaper than organic.
Oh,
right.
Like Burger King or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
So
but at the grocery store.
But a lot of times that's happening. Like, I've always kind of wanted to do this understanding of, like, okay, here's a grocery list. If this is your fixed income, like, find the, not national average, but, you know, like, we have access to a lot of foods that we're buying that I feel spoiled rotten, right?
Oh, yeah, we
like,
go crazy.
and so, like, getting less and less accessibility to it could be cheap. And it's like a whole other, like, political conversation. You know what I'm saying? But when you do have access, like, yes, you could have a fridge full of food that you can make a lot of things out of and spend a lot less money.
Yeah.
I think. Like, breakfast for me, if I went out, I'm like, oh, I want X, Y, and Z. It's like $25, $30.
for sure.
Guess how much my spinach and eggs cost at my house and my pour over black coffee that I made. Like, so it's a commitment to a lifestyle as well. Like, it's fun to be social and go get those things, but also, like, caring for yourself is sometimes a bit more
important.
like, not social.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, like, what about supplements? Because I don't take any at all, except for creatine. I've been taking that. Mm-hmm. But I don't take anything, and it's so confusing.
Yeah.
I have no idea, like,
Good for you.
what to take and why.
Right.
And a lot of people, and it's expensive. Supplements are very expensive.
And
So,
will
like,
I use them if I
and,
buy
like,
them?
which are good and which are bad, and I'm sure some of them are BS. And
Right.
it just became trendy, and people are saying you need that, and so everyone's taking it. Mm-hmm. But, like, how do you navigate that?
And I think that, as we all know, wellness is another industry. Like, people are making money off of you need this and
Yeah.
you need that. Which, again, this, like, silent revolution of self would be like, eat all the whole foods and get all your nutrients and vitamins that way.
Exactly.
So it's a discussion, I think, with either a nutritionist or a doctor to see if you are imbalanced in things, which I think comes down to really just, like, symptoms. Like, if you're feeling X, Y, or Z, maybe explore, like, we all know what it feels like to take magnesium, right? And, like, if you're deficient in magnesium or if you're dehydrated, like, there's some very basic ways to be like, oh, I need to supplement that. Do I just need to drink more water? Maybe. Is my water from the tap? Is, again, like, there's my water, maybe if I have electrolytes in it and I drink that after my workout, maybe I did need more potassium and sodium. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it, I think, to pay attention to is, like, a bio-individual thing. It's a symptomatic thing. Like, do I feel different? Do I want to feel different? What does that look like? What am I deficient in is kind of like, I feel like people's baseline should be cutting out shitty food.
Yeah, like, start there.
And get well enough to have your body adjust to a point that, like, again, sleep, exercise, okay, all those other things are such massive contributors to how you feel that if you're not going to balance all that, you're probably going to get stuck in a supplement game of like, well, I feel better when I take this. It's like, well, I feel better when I drink 4 cups of coffee, or I feel better when it's like, it's just like a slippery slope of, do you feel how you want to, I guess? And if you don't, then you can look into where maybe you're deficient. There is so much on the internet. I cannot believe between Black Friday and Christmas sales. Also, I look at wellness things, so I'm targeted in a different way. Yeah. It is insane for a person who doesn't even think I need them, how much I thought I needed some stuff. It's on sale. It's everywhere. The topic of discussion is da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, of course I need those things.
It works
Understanding our body too, you know, as we age as women, like things that our body starts producing less of, that we need to be supplementing in a way so that our other bodily functions are like able to do their thing.
Such as?
Like, I think that understanding like your bone density and vitamin D, like here we live somewhere that you think we would get full sun, and a lot of us are still vitamin D deficient, and that can be really crucial as you get into menopause and all these different like, I think there's really scientific ways to look at what you should supplement. I think that understanding also vitamins and minerals, like I think amino acids is always a good one to look at. I think our body it has 20 or 21 essential amino acids. Our body doesn't make 9 of them. So we're responsible for understanding amino acids, which can be found in protein, eggs, buckwheat or something. If you're not eating those things, maybe you should be supplementing with an amino acid. So I think that it's like not as easy as just taking a supplement. It's like understanding why you need it. And then like the glitz and the glam of them, I'm like, sure, I'm going to eat this pouch of this. It's like, and now I'm eating beyond what my body even needs. I'm peeing it out. Am I even absorbing it? So it's like, it's crazy that we're being fed that we're not getting enough of it from food. But we also, most of us aren't eating a balanced diet. So you're right to say we're not getting it from food because we're not eating everything we should be eating.
Right.
You know, I think that our bodies stopped producing certain amino acids because of our ancestors, like the way they eat. Like evolution literally nullified that our body made them. And now we're in a position where our food is like stripped of nutrients, or you're not eating enough of each rainbow color. And so you're literally not supplying your body with like basic nutrients. So then, yeah, you would feel shitty and need a supplement. So,
but the supplements are like, I mean, nobody's going to make money off teaching people that they can get.
I'm hoping to.
Totally. No, I agree. I
mean, like, it's a crazy thing, which is to go back to like, are you consulting? Are you cooking? Like, it's difficult to sell the education because the supplement is so much easier.
Right.
You know, people want to like pay a doctor to do some, bullshit blood work and then sell you a bunch of supplements that you definitely don't need.
Well, and a lot of times that's indicative of that day and what you were eating. And so it can give you like an idea of what you have. But again, if you're all over the place and you're not doing all the other things, that reading is only giving you what you look like if you're scattered. Like, what if you got super fine-tuned and felt well and did all of these things and then went and did, I don't know.
You wouldn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a chicken or the egg.
I think I like Carolina's rule of